SVG-TV News headlines sponsored in part by Flo.
In the headlines, the National Accreditation Board will be advancing its work to clamp down on bogus institutions operating or seeking to operate in the country. Countries in the region encouraged to work together to secure their rightful share in the world's cultural market. Iran threatens all-out war if action taken over Saudi oil strike. And in sports, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots heap more misery on Jamaica Tallawahs in CPL 2019. These and other stories coming up in SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports.
That was the news headline sponsored in part by Flo.
Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Friday, September 20th, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The National Accreditation Board will be advancing its work to monitor and clamp down on bogus institutions operating or seeking to operate in the country. So says Chairperson Dr. Rosalind Ambrose, who was at the time speaking at an event held this week as part of activities to mark the board's 10th anniversary. Dr. Ambrose said she is aware of the advances taking place in education here and globally, and the National Accreditation Board needs to safeguard Vincentians against bogus institutions, especially those operating online.
Forensic documentation evaluation for persons who come to the country or for our candidates who apply for doing courses, particularly in the online industry, because we do know that there are many diploma mills in the world online, and so we would like to be able to protect our nationals from being exploited by bogus entities. And so we hope that in the very near future we can expand the unit and we can gain more in-depth capacity for dealing with assessment of.
Reflecting on the past 10 years, Dr. Ambrose noted the significant strides made to have institutions accredited and the credentials of persons verified.
That candidates who gain qualifications from institutions in St. Vincent and Grenadines are in fact able to take this qualification and credentials to other places in the world. Equally so, the board and the accreditation unit is charged with the responsibility of ensuring that credentials that are presented either by locals or any other people coming to work and teach in the country are in fact appropriately qualified for those positions.
Standards must not just be met but also maintained, and the newly registered educational institution with the National Accreditation Board, the American University of St. Vincent, has been encouraged to maintain the highest level of quality education. The institution was registered today by the National Accreditation Board at a ceremony held at its campus site at New Montrose. Speaking at the ceremony, representative of the National Accreditation Board, Joy Brown, said much has changed over the last decade, increasing the demand for higher education, the cost, and the amount of institutions available. Brown encouraged these institutions to seek out growth grounded in quality assurance and excellence.
And that the standards of this university are going to be always on the improve. And this is what we're happy about, because the ultimate goal is accreditation. And we can only get there when we experience the classroom modalities. So, as this university, the American University, leaves its footprints on the landscape of higher education here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we, the board, and the public of this country, as well as the targeted clientele, must see evidence of upward spiraling of growth and development that is anchored in quality assurance and excellence.
Dean of Clinical Affairs at the American University of St. Vincent, Dr. Wissam Al-Hafid, said the institution is committed to provide high-quality education and seek out students who are able to focus on the compassion and humanitarian aspects of their profession. Dr. Hafid gave the assurance that the institution will meet and exceed the expectations of its students and the National Accreditation Board.
That something more that is the hallmark character of our university students. Today, as we record this milestone, we promise the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the National Board of Accreditation, and our students, that we will continue to further raise the standard of education at this institute, and to continue to develop the university's potentials at all levels to match the best schools in the region. As we are grateful for your support and honored with the high confidence that this board has given us. And we promise everyone that we will come up to and even exceed your expectations.
Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, congratulated the institution for its accomplishment of being accredited by the National Accreditation Board.
Could pick up anything from the commitment which was just given. You would recognize that not only is it concerned about sustaining the status quo, there is an expansive vision for the future. As the Minister of Health, I'm happy to hear about the plans, for instance, for the coming on stream of a program in nursing, And when we expand in this manner, I think that this school is going to develop a full profile that allows it to take up a prominent place among universities in this region and throughout the world. I want to commend you for the progress that you have made so far. I want to congratulate you on this particular step that you are taking. And I know that we are not here to then enter a mold or a state of complacency, but to continue to make sure that the American University of St. Vincent goes from strength to strength and the students have an excellent education.
In other news, local historian Dr. Adrian Fraser last evening launched his new book, which provides readers with a better understanding of SVG's early struggles for independence and lone national hero Joseph Chatouillet. Larissa Puggs-the-Kid tells us more about the book and the launching ceremony held last evening at the French's house.
Villain to national hero, Chatouillet and the early struggle for independence of St. Vincent, Urumi. This is the new book written by historian Dr. Adrian Fraser. Dr. Fraser collaborated with the University of the West Indies SVG Open Campus to have the book published. At the launching ceremony on Thursday evening at the French's house, Dr. Fraser told the gathering that SVG's history was told differently from colonial historians and does not truly represent what happened back then.
Look in the book at the way the colonial texts have depicted and described Chatelier. He was ruthless, bloodthirsty, sanguinary, desperate, and accustomed to warfare and bloodshed. Cruelty rather than courage had been his trademark. The question is, how did a man so described become our national hero? And this, of course, has to do with the whole colonial system and our move away from that colonial system.
Dr. Fraser said his book sought to explain the struggles of Joseph Chatelier from villain to national hero and the early stages of SVG's independence.
The book is really, and Dr. Denny and some of the others mentioned this, it's really a debate with the British commentators on their struggle with the indigenous people and a confrontation with the historiography that is the writings of that particular period. So that's one aspect of it, because there are a lot of things which were written which I question. And then the transformation from villain to national hero and the process that this involved, a process which came out of, which led to decolonization and eventually to independence.
Minister of Education St. Clair Jimmy Prince welcomed the new book, noting that it has been observed that the interest in history among students has declined and his ministry is looking to have this reversed.
Appreciate the importance of this subject to national development and to our collective psyche. And I am afraid to say that I don't think that enough of them have decided that this is important enough for them to pay attention to. So there is, while there's a paucity of information with respect to our own history, there is a neglect on the part of the teachers to embrace this, and therefore students suffer. We will continue from the Ministry of Education to ensure that this happens.
UWI Open Campus Program Manager Monica Brown says the book will be an inspiration to many.
As a people, we would appreciate and embrace the deeds, philosophy, and indeed the spirit of Chatelier as we celebrate 40 years of independence, or as Dr. Fraser puts it, the recovery of our independence.
Professor of History of the St. Mary's College, USA, Dr. Gary Michael Denny, delivered a positive review of the book at last evening's ceremony, noting the in-depth history it trails. This is the fifth book written by Dr. Adrian Fraser. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
EU ambassador suggests electronic data be made part of this country's health policy. This and other stories coming up when we return with more local news. Stay with us.
News sponsored in part by Flow.
Funeral service should be one that you can be proud of, one that leaves lasting memories of your loved ones, and that's where you need the New Haven Funeral Home. At the New Haven Funeral Home, we desire to impact positively in the industry because we recognize that a greater part of what we do is not just quality caskets or quality coffins, but quality service. We hold ourselves to a higher standard. This standard extends to all areas of our work. We accommodate all clients, regardless of circumstance, all without compromising quality. I actually get this question a lot. And although it's not the most glamorous of jobs, I love it. Because we get to help people. We get to help families when they need it the most.
New Haven Funeral Home, helping families preserve memories. Star Limited is now located on the third floor of the first St. Vincent Bank building. They have extended their range of products to furniture, including patio sets, closets, shoe casing, beds and mattresses, TV cabinets, and kitchen cupboards, just to name a few of their luxurious pieces, all at unbelievable prices. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out upstairs the first St. Vincent Bank building. And don't forget, they still have the best in windows, doors, burglar bars, rails, and vanities. See Star Limited, where quality and style is our motto.
Finishing and Furnishing, where a warm and friendly staff awaits you. At Finishing and Furnishing, you feel like you're in a home away from home. You will find a wide range of bedroom, living room, and appliances displayed in a stunning setting. When dealing with furniture, you need to take into consideration the colors of your room. That's why at our Penta Studio, we supply the best in interior and exterior paints. Have wooden furniture? Well, we also have stains, sealers, lacquers to get that matte or gloss finish of your desire. So give us a call at 457-2206 and come on down to Finishing and Furnishing today and start building the home of your dreams.
Kidney disease is a growing concern around the world and here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Chronic kidney disease is a life-threatening condition which occurs when a person's kidneys are no longer able to clean the toxins and waste products from the blood or perform other kidney functions normally. When this happens, a person needs dialysis. Dialysis is where a machine takes over the function of the kidney and safely removes the poisonous waste from the blood. Since 2012, Health Solutions Inc. has operated a full-service hemodialysis facility in SVG that offers state-of-the-art equipment, courteous, well-trained staff, and a comfortable treatment environment.
We're encouraging for early detection. Anyone who is either diabetic or hypertensive and has any questions or concerns, please contact us at 784-451-2836 or visit us at www.healthsolutionssvg.org.
This Hurricane Tip is brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean. Take photos of important documents and secure them in waterproof containers or bags. Make sure to include any insurance policies, property deeds, or mortgage papers.
Celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. At course you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
Welcome back. EU's ambassador to Barbados and the OECS, Daniela Tamokre, recommends electronic data be made part of this country's health policy. Ambassador Tamokre was part of a high-level EU mission who paid a visit to the state yesterday to evaluate projects funded by the organization. The Bucament Polyclinic, which opened in April this year, is one of the projects funded by the EU. Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Luke Brown, accompanied the EU delegation to a site visit and gave them a tour of the facility. The head nurse at the polyclinic outlined to the EU delegation the vast improvement of services they now offer to residents and those of surrounding communities. It was there that the EU ambassador suggested to the Minister of Health the need to invest more in electronic data. The EU delegation then moved on to the SVG Community College, another of its funded projects. Minister of Education Sinclair Jimmy Prince and the director of the SVG Community College, Nigel Scott, were on hand to provide information on the college operations to the EU team. The college was part of a major expansion project which was funded by the EU to the tune of 30 million EC dollars. Under the project, the lecture theatre, student union and teachers building were built, as well as renovation work done on the existing buildings at the college. Later funding was made available for the Food and Science Lab. Director General of the Directorate General for International Cooperation and Development of the EU, Stefano Mansavisa, asked about the standard of education offered at the college and about the challenges faced.
Whether it is terms of work, salary, those sort of things, trying to resolve pension plan issues, I think those have been some of the very challenging issues.
But this is not within your range of decision making, no? This is a national thing. Some of them. Oh, really?
You have been managing or co-managing this. In terms of quality, you have seen a decrease, an increase, or continuation?
Quality of students?
No, quality of teacher, quality of...
I've seen an improvement.
An improvement?
Yeah. I think we have continued to improve in the quality of the staff and the quality of the students as well. And that is evidenced by, for example, the number of national scholarships we have now on an annual basis. We've gone from less than 20 to now over 40.
On their visit to the college, the EU delegation also met with students and lecturers. Their visit to SVG is part of a tour to several CARICOM countries to assess projects funded by the EU. Motorists and other road users who traverse the North Windward area can expect a more stable roadway in the London area at Sandy Bay in the coming weeks. This as the Building Roads and General Services Authority, BRAXA, commenced stabilization work in the London area. The roadway, which was damaged during the 2013 floods, was further eroded this week after heavy rains. Design work for a bridge which will be more suitable for the conditions in the area is said to be underway. However, in the meantime, engineering assistant at BRAXA, Dylan Morris, said they have to make temporary adjustments and fill-ins to ensure safety in the area for road users.
Currently we're doing some stabilization of the area downstream and upstream of the bridge. We had to put in a steel and metal deck to add support to the current concrete structure that's there. The idea behind that is that the eastern northern side of the carriageway is severely scoured. So it's dangerous for vehicles to be crossing on it.
Yeah, that's it. That's right there because it looks like it's very thin. There's nothing under there.
It's more than 6 inches thick really with the concrete, reinforced concrete, but the base of it is severely scoured.
So how safe is it and how long this can be like this?
Well, it's not safe to drive on that side, so that's why we're putting in the access support so that the vehicles will keep on the western side crossing the bridge.
How long has this been happening for this deterioration in break of the road?
Well, it has started since 2013, if my memory serves me right. And every time it rains heavily, we have additional scouring and so on.
Water has been identified as the main reason for the damage to the bridge, and Morris said they are working to direct the water under the bridge. He said the entire exercise is expected to be completed in 6 weeks' time, with key areas to be completed this weekend.
But we have to do some river training upstream of the river to protect the river banks and for any possible overflow of the river.
So in the meantime, what advice would you give to motorists, even with those who probably have heavy vehicles and everything?
Well, it's safe for the heavy vehicles. It's safe. It's safe for the heavy vehicles. It's just that we're going to stabilize and ensure safety first. So that heavy vehicles, the garbage truck passed here this morning, full with garbage from Fancy, because it wasn't able to come up since Tuesday. It's the first time after the rains on Tuesday that it has been able to pass.
And if it rains anytime soon, more than likely it would be impassable just the same? Yes. Or would when you finish it, that shouldn't have a problem,
so
right?
We're going to redirect the water, train the river so that water flow directly under the bridge.
Okay. Thank you.
In other news, Flow SVG today launched its second customer experience center. The center is located in the Highway Trading Building in the Annesville area. Speaking at the opening ceremony, country manager of Flow SVG, Wayne Hull, said the new experience center, which will offer all of Flow's retail products and services, will be extremely convenient for customers' day-to-day service transactions, including easy access to the company's recently launched digital payment system.
This retail store cost us just over $250,000 EC dollars to retrofit the store and include equipments, the payment kiosk. This location would also create an additional 5 jobs in our retail business, and it would also attract increased spending on things like security services, maintenance, cleaning and stuff like that, also increasing the amount of employment that the location would bring from this investment. We also want to focus on helping customers to use more of our kiosks, providing face-to-face customer support, technical support, and importantly, allowing customers to sign up for new services from Flow. We expect that this location will significantly reduce the foot traffic that we have at the Kingston location and overall reduce the in-store wait time that we have now in St. Vincent.
Executive Director of the SVG Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Anthony Regisford, said that he welcomes every new business or businesses that are expanding because expansion means growth, growth means jobs, and job means more prosperity.
Country Manager Hull, I sincerely congratulate you on this $250,000 retrofit expenditure that you had. That is some serious money. I hope that your ROI on that is favorable. I don't want to see you having to scratch your head 3 months down the road and wonder, you know, if it's a good investment. I really hope it's a good investment. I urge all the people who will be listening to this after the event, because I know the media is here, come out, check out the Flow location, support the effort, and make use of the convenience that is being offered. Thank you very much.
Director of the National Telecommunications Company, the NTRC, Apollo Knight, commended Flow SVG on the new Annesville Retail Center. He said that it will not only be beneficial to customers, but the entire country.
Right, so I just want to commend you again, Mr. Hull, in adding this brick and mortar location and bring it to 5. And I know one of the reasons before, because we have a country of 110,000 people, and if you go to other islands of a similar size, like for example Grenada, I think they have 2 Flow locations. Where it's one island, they have 2, which is good. So persons in the north can go to Grenville and get service, but St. Vincent and Grenadines now with so many Grenadine islands, we have 3, and one in Beckwith, one in Canada, one in Union Island before. So I know Mr. Hall, when he going for this funding, they will say, well, you already have 4 centers for 100,000 people. How can I justify adding another one? But you have to look at the context. So it's actually, you can say, it's only 1 for maybe 90,000. So a person who's coming from Fancy has to go all over to Tongue. Persons from Barley, Chatterley has to come all over the Tongue. It's very hard. So this is going to be a big change. I have a new center, and I want to commend you again on that.
The retail center was blessed by Superintendent of the Kingston Chatterley Circuit of the Methodist Church, Reverend Adolph Davis, while long-standing Flow customer Mrs. Dunny assisted Flow Country Manager Wayne Hull to officially cut the ribbon and open the Flow Experience Center. And that brings us to the end of the local segment of the news. We hear that countries in the region encouraged to work together to secure their rightful share in the world's cultural market. This from the region. When we return, stay with us.
The local news segment
The Ever-Ready Funeral Home at French's is your friend in times of grief. With over 40 years' experience, they are prepared to take care of all your funeral arrangements. Embalming, lowering device service, grave mattresses, carpeting, vaults, tombs, and wreaths. Arrangements for television obituaries. Cremation is available upon request. Ever-Ready Funeral Home offers the finest in caskets and coffins, local and imported. So, in your time of need, call Ever-Ready Funeral Home at any time. 456-1494. Ever-Ready Funeral Home, offering service above self.
Juicy, juicy, drink today. Juicy, juicy, same great taste. Juicy, juicy, the original drink. It's a Vinci thing. Get your red and banana, pineapple, juicy cola, orange or apple. Juicy for you and for your neighbor. It's a Vinci thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original Vinci thing. Juicy.
At RE/MAX, we know you want to sell your property at top dollar and as fast as possible. To help you sell at top dollar, all of our agents are trained to negotiate the highest possible price for your property. And to sell as fast as possible, our agents can access over 120,000 agents around the globe, which results in more potential buyers. This is why nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Contact your RE/MAX agent today and get your property sold.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They came General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices. Then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Quality products, quality care, low prices, great customer service, all at QCare Pharmacy. QCare leads the way, providing all your pharmaceutical needs, a variety of personal care products, and so much more. Located on Halifax Street. Telephone number 451-2690. QCare Pharmacy, where the Q stands for quality.
Family store, we sell everything you need for your kitchen and more. Top brands and appliances, TVs, fridges, cookers. We make your life so easy. Just come in and see us. A wide range of furniture, right here at Singer. Affordable beds and mattresses, right here at Singer. Washing machines to make your laundry clean and fresh. Singer is a family store that gives you the best hire purchase deals. Right here at Singer, we'll outfit your home. Right here at Singer, the #1 family store. It's us with Singer.
Shot for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. Yeah. So play as much as you can. Monthly prices to be won. Set for life. A brand new house. Set for life. A brand new car. Set for life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for life. Did your date done set? Set for life. December 28th. Set for life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner. Turn your own keys. Set for life.
The regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out.
Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Welcome back. In our news from the region now, we heard that countries in the region have been encouraged to work together to secure their rightful share in the world's cultural market. This appeal came from Barbados Minister of Culture, John King, during the opening ceremony of the OECS meeting of Ministers of Culture and highest appropriate authorities. We hear more in this CBC Barbados news report.
What do Bob Marley, Eddie Grant, Sparrow, Shakira, and Rihanna have in common? Well, according to Culture Minister John King, they've all been flying the cultural industry's flag for their respective countries in the Western Hemisphere. But he believes in a world that has been built on a philosophy of the fittest, countries in this region must unite if we are to be craftsmen of our fate.
What is needed now is greater cooperation amongst ourselves. We can no longer go forward alone. As a bloc, we stand to make considerable inroads into the world's creative economy that is said to be worth billions.
However, Minister King says this will require member states to have adequate legislation in place to protect the various sectors.
It means building the necessary framework to enable cultural practitioners to be able to access each other's markets. And every effort must be made to sensitize potential funders. Local banks, credit unions, and international lending agencies, they must be able to see investment in the creative sector is a viable business, but it is also not only for profits or loss, but it must be seen as an investment in the survival of our creativity, our culture, and most importantly, our people.
Meantime, Permanent Secretary Jehu Wiltshire supports the creation of a cultural satellite account so that the sector's contribution to the economy can be clearly seen.
Measuring culture will not only demonstrate its economic contribution, but assist us in making the critical arguments for more resources. I certainly wish to be in a position when we are discussing our estimates and our budget to say to the Minister of Finance, the creative industries make this percentage contribution to the economy in terms of GDP.
The opening ceremony included a performance by Cultural Ambassador Dr. Anthony Gabby Carter.
Gas box and billboard bus.
In the Bahamas now, the day of prayer and fasting ended with a service of thanksgiving and renewal of hope at the Bahamas Faith Ministries. The prayer service drew a crowd full of clergymen, government officials and residents who joined in prayer for the healing of the country following the passage of Hurricane Dorian, which caused widespread devastation in some areas. We hear more in this Eyewitness News from the Bahamas.
Ask that you would do in him and give him the ability, God, to do what you're calling for in this reconstruction. I pray, God, that you will align him with people who have the best interests of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It was an emotional night at Bahamas Faith Ministries as religious leaders from all denominations gathered for the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. The leaders prayed for Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, for grieving families, provisions, the Haitian community, Abaco, Grand Bahama, and for the continued protection of the Bahamas. And as the nation begins to pick up the pieces left behind by Hurricane Dorian, Dr. Minnis said, with 52 persons confirmed dead and 1,300 others still missing, this is likely to be the greatest single loss of life ever in our history.
The fresh well of tears will never go dry, nor empty for a very long time or even a lifetime for some. As others have said before, grief is the price of love. We will need as many spiritual resources as we will need physical resources to rebuild lives and communities. Let us pray for those who work day and night to address the needs of the victims and displaced persons. Let the common prayer throughout our land be for the gifts of the Spirit needed to heal and to restore.
Opposition leader Philip Davis called for less talk and more action.
If we say that we love and do nothing, we fail to love. Love is an action word. So let us be the rock and not the sand. And let us remain solid as a rock.
Bishop Dalton Fernandez, head of the Bahamas Christian Council, said now is the time to forget what divides us and come together to rebuild our land.
We must move forward, developing our islands, drafting and enforcing legislation, devising and practicing new protocols and procedures in how we build and where we build. Using the knowledge gained in this horrific storm to be stronger, to be wiser, indeed to be better.
Sancheska Brown, Eyewitness News.
In Grenada now, the Royal Grenada Police Force has launched an investigation into the cause of an accident today involving a passenger bus that veered off the road and sidewalk and into the water at the Carenage in the capital, St. George's. The island's acting commissioner of police, Edwin Martin, has commended members of the public who responded immediately, diving into the water to assist in the rescue of all persons who were on board. According to media reports, one female passenger, a 65-year-old woman, was later pronounced dead at the General Hospital, while a 9-year-old girl remains in the intensive care unit. All other persons were treated and released. The bus remains in possession of the police and the driver is currently in police custody, assisting with the investigation into the cause of the accident. And that brings us to the end of the regional news. We heard that Iran threatens all-out war if action taken on Saudi oil strike. This from the international scene. When we return, stay with us.
Regional news segment sponsored by Massey Stores SVG Limited.
Massey Stores Pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Massey Stores Pharmacy. Where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
LA Unique Upholstery. Quality at a low cost. We build to suit your needs. Contact us at Redemption Shops 457-0182 or Stony Grounds 453-2089.
Jams Car Rental has a fleet of vehicles covering all transportation options you'll need to discover or rediscover SVG. Whether you want to head to the countryside, enjoy a special weekend, or take a trip to one of our national sites, we have just the right vehicle for you. Jams Car Rental, located in Edinburgh. Call us at 485-6620 or 529-6393.
Tourism is for me. Tourism is for you. Tourism is everyone's business. Yeah, live it, love it, embrace it. We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
SVG-TV International News segment sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
You like doing laundry, right? Nah, I didn't think so. The stains? Oh, nightmare. Thanks to the new Tropic Fresh laundry detergent, doing laundry is now hassle-free. Tropic Fresh removes dirt, cuts through stains, leaves your whites whiter, and your colors brighter. Tropic Fresh has antibacterial agents that kills germs present in your clothing. It's gentle on hands, and the smell? Longer, fresh fragrance. Available in original and lemon scents and in various sizes. Tropic Fresh laundry detergent. Agents and distributors, Carez Distribution Limited.
Let's go further afield now. Iran's foreign ministers warned that any attack on his country after a series of missile strikes on Saudi Arabia's oil industry would result in all-out war. Javed Zafar also demanded that Riyadh hand over the evidence that it claimed provided the attack came from Iran and not from Houthi-occupied Yemen. His remarks came as the French foreign minister became the first prominent European politician to suggest it was not very credible that the attack was mounted by the Houthis, as the rebels engaged in the civil war in Yemen have claimed. As we hear in this CNN report, despite the back and forth and threats, Saudi Arabia is not looking for confrontation with Iran on the issue.
Well, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo leaving here without holding a joint press conference with Saudi officials. And I think that does give you the underlying picture here that Saudi Arabia is not looking for confrontation with Iran right now. They're looking for international support. And remembering that Prince Khalid bin Salman, the former Saudi ambassador to Washington, the brother of the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also he's the deputy defense minister in Washington a few weeks ago, told officials there that Saudi Arabia doesn't want or is concerned about the possibility of the United States escalating conflict in this region with Iran. And that does seem to be the picture emerging now. What we have seen and heard from the Ministry of Defense here is to say very clearly, putting on display many of these missile parts, the cruise missiles and the drone parts, saying very clearly that they were manufactured by Iran, but not yet ready to say that Iran launched these missiles or the missiles came from Iranian soil, not ready to say that publicly. This is what the spokesman from the Saudi coalition told me.
It's not about saying Iraq or Iran this time, but we have the evidence it's coming from the north. If we are talking about the cruise missile over there, which is 3 cruise missiles had landed short from a gig. That's proof it's not coming from the Yemen.
What's going to be the response to Iran?
The response, are you talking about the international community response? Because we said this attack is not just against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it's not against Saudi Aramco, it's against the international trade and against the security of the global energy.
And do you feel the international community, does the international community believe that finally now?
I think we have a common understanding, and we are working with our allies to stop Iran from their hostile act in the region and in the world.
So for now, it really does feel that the Saudis are trying to build that international support for their position, isolate Iran, find a way to prevent Iran from what they see as its malign behavior in the region. They certainly have support from the United States on that. But what move next? Any military escalation could potentially cost the Saudis, cost the UAE very dearly. And the attack over the weekend was a prime example of what they're exposed to and how vulnerable they still are.
Well, that's the news. Sports is just ahead, but before that, let's take a look at the local weather forecast.
SVG-TV International News segment was sponsored in part by Carez Distribution Limited.
You like doing laundry, right? Nah, I didn't think so. The stains? Oh, nightmare. Thanks to the new Tropic Fresh laundry detergent, doing laundry is now hassle-free. Tropic Fresh removes dirt, cuts through stains, leaves your whites whiter, and your colors brighter. Tropic Fresh has antibacterial agents that kills germs present in your clothing. It's gentle on hands, and the smell? Longer, fresh fragrance. Available in original and lemon scents and in various sizes. Tropic Fresh laundry detergent. Agents and distributors, Carez Distribution Limited.
The weather report sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentians for years with their high prices. They are General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium.
The local weather forecast, it is partly cloudy, winds calm, temperatures 27.9 degrees Celsius, relative humidity is 84%. The barometric pressure is 1011.8 millibars, 24-hour rainfall 1.2 millimeters. Today's maximum temperature is 31.4 degrees Celsius. Today's minimum temperature is 26.4 degrees Celsius. Sunset today at 6:01 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:53 a.m. The forecast, it is partly cloudy to cloudy at times with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. The synopsis, feeder band from Hurricane Jerry will be affecting the islands.
The weather report was sponsored in part by General Hardware, Budgemart Limited.
Bebin, the diaper made with the very best for the very best. Keeps up with them on the go. With a wetness indicator, Bebin keeps your child dry and happy. For quality and affordability, choose Bebin every time.
Bebin Premium. We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
SVG-TV Sports, sponsored by Remax Results Realty.
Fantastic opportunity to own an income-producing property next to the Argyle International Airport. 8 self-contained apartments. Currently, the street-level space is used as a small supermarket. Loads of potential for this great property in the right location. For additional information, we invite you to visit our website at svghomesandland.com or call our offices in Diamond, 784-456-2016.
Welcome to the evening sports. We heard that an unbroken 94-run partnership from the 7th wicket between Fabian Allen and Kenroy Cotoy sent St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots on their way to a 20-run victory over Jamaica Tallawahs, despite Glenn Phillips smashing 87 from 49 in reply in another CPL matched up last evening. The Patriots looked sure to finish below par when skipper Carlos Brathwaite was 6th out with just 82 on the board in the 13th over, but Allen launched a control and clinical assault on the Tallawahs bowling and found a willing ally in Cotoy, who will later pick up the all-important wicket of Phillips. Allen and Cotoy were able to add 81 without loss in the last 5 overs of the Patriots' innings, as the Tallawahs bowlers lost their way after a good first 15 overs. Openers Devon Thomas and Erwin Lewis were both dismissed inside the first 3 overs, and a promising recovery partnership between Mohamed Hafiz and Laurie Evans ended in the mix-up, and the latter was run out by Ramal Lewis. Hafiz, Sarma, Brooks and Brathwaite all then fell in the space of 12 balls to leave the Patriot up against it. Allen took an over or two to play himself in, but soon exploded. He had just 6 runs to his name for 7 balls going into the last 5, but added another 56 runs from just another 20 deliveries. Cotoid had been the quiet partner through much of the stand, but had some fun of his own in the final over with a lap over long leg for 6 and ended unbeaten on 27 from 23 balls. That's a tally even got close, was almost entirely down to Phillips. He produced what was almost a lone hand, but was just left with too much to do. And rung 3 fixtures in the National Lotteries Authority Top Belay Progressive Organization 2020 Softball Cricket Championship will take place this weekend at the Daphne playing field. On Saturday afternoon, one team will meet Gary Construction Simple Boys at 1 p.m. and later at 3 p.m. Daphne United will come up against Computech Older Boys. On Sunday morning, London Young Strikers will oppose Dr. Thomas Injectors at 10 a.m. Then in the afternoon, Curtis King Stallions will face New Level at 12:30, and Country Meat Tongue Outer Trouble will play Hard Hitters at 3 p.m. Mercedes driver Lewis Hamilton and Red Bull's Max Verstappen were in a league of their own in second practice at the Singapore Grand Prix. Hamilton set the pace at 0.184 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Ferrari Sebastian Vettel was third on 0.81 seconds off. Valtteri Bottas in fourth was 1.121 seconds off teammate Hamilton. Red Bull's Alexander Albon was fifth on 0.986 seconds slower than Verstappen, with Ferrari's Charles Leclerc in sixth. The Ferrari drivers both had compromised runs when they were simulating qualifying on the soft tires, but the Italian cars look a long way off the form they showed when Leclerc won the last 2 races in Belgium and Italy. The evening sports will continue in a moment. Stay with us.
My sister's pharmacy is the one for you. Is the one for you. We have competitive prices for your prescriptions too. We have 10% off for seniors, children under 3. We're here for your convenience. Prescription services. Leave your prescriptions while you shop. And our professional pharmacists will help you out. Massey Stars Pharmacy, Massey Stars Pharmacy, where your health is your wealth.
Located at Massey Stores, Kingstown. Contact us at 453-9112.
Tourism is for me, tourism is for you. Tourism is everyone's business, yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
The body moves in many expressive ways. The freedom of movement is often taken for granted until that freedom is restricted by pain. Maya's Pain Kill Gel is scientifically formulated to alleviate muscle and joint inflammation. With this gel, you can target the pain in areas where it's needed the most. Bring the joy of movement back into your life with Maya's Pain Kill Gel. Available at leading stores and pharmacies in SVG.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. At course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
Welcome back. Team Athletics SVG will be staging its 2019 edition of the Rung the Tongue Road Relay on Sunday from 3 p.m. 63 teams have confirmed their participation for the event, which begins on Halifax Street outside the First Caribbean International Bank. The field will feature teams from 5 primary schools, 11 secondary schools, and 6 clubs. Transportation to the event for members of the competing teams will be provided and is set to depart Sandy Bay at 12 noon and Fitzhugh at 1 p.m. And the Northeast Football League season events, including the Grassroots Festival, the Under-13 boys and females, futsal, Under-11, Under-15 and Under-19 boys, females and elite, village teams, divisions and clubs divisions segments is set to get started. The Northeast Football League organizers are inviting all interested clubs or teams to a tournament meeting to be held on Tuesday, September 24th at the Georgetown Secondary School from 5:30 p.m. The purpose of the meeting, they say, is to discuss the rules and other matters affecting the competition. Registration forms will be made available at the meeting. And that's how we end sport this evening. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us.
SVG-TV Sports was sponsored by Remax Results Realty.
Remax Results Realty proudly presents this spacious home that's perfect for a growing family with 2 living areas and kitchens. It features a circular stairway with attractive wrought iron balusters, an in-ground pool, and wraparound covered porch to enjoy the great sea views. For additional information, we invite you to visit our website at svghomesandland.com or call our offices in Diamond at 784-456-2016.
This is Jake's Kitchen, the most trendy place to customize your kitchen in all of SVG. And when we say trendy, you better believe it's hot. Because we've got the latest in stylish kitchen accessories and fittings at astonishingly available prices. Guaranteed to make your kitchen bling bling. And our new arrivals will do just that. Step up to our showroom, upstairs Caribbean Glass in Kingstown, and make your kitchen the envy of all. When you're customized by Jake's Kitchen, you don't keep up with the neighbors. Oh no, the neighbors better keep up with you.
This hurricane tip is brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean. Make sure you have food, water, medicine, important documents, and cash in your survival kit.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
And now for a second look at the headlines. The National Accreditation Board will be advancing its work to clamp down on bogus institutions operating or seeking to operate in the country. Countries in the region encouraged to work together to secure their rightful share in the world's cultural market. And Iran threatens all-out war if action taken over Saudi oil strike. In sports, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots heap more misery on Jamaica Towers in CPL 2019. On behalf of all of us here at SVG-TV, thanks for viewing. I am Rochelle Batiste. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for a recap of the news and daily headlines. Also tune in for SVG-TV News in 15 at 12:45 p.m. weekdays. Have a good evening and a great weekend.
Listen, the big hardware stores have been ripping off Vincentions for years with their high prices. They call General Hardware with the lowest prices ever in SVG. Now, the big guys are scrambling to drop their prices, but they still can't beat the General. So don't let them fool you. General Hardware still has the best prices on lumber, plywood, and steel. And even with a sale, the General beats that too. So go on, compare prices, then come to General Hardware and save dollars every day. Because nobody beats the General. Nobody. General Hardware Supplies, located next to Yvette's Pork City in Arnesville. Call 453-9000.
Search for Life is back again. Your favorite game. Win house and land. SUV plus 50 grand. 50 and 25 grand. Second and third prize in your hand. So play as much as you can. Monthly prizes to be won. Set for life. A brand new house. Set for life. A brand new car. Set for life. $10 for a bet. Live your life with no regrets. Set for life. Did your day done set for life. December 28th. Set for life. Check the lotto machine. Get set for 2019. Set for life. Live all of your dreams. Be a winner, turn your keys. Set for life.
We're celebrating 60 with the best, and bringing value home is priceless. Of course, you get the best of both the worlds. Save money and time. It's the vibes. We got prices on the low. We got it. Bring your fam to the store. We got brand name items for your whole comment. We got what you need and more. It's happening in the store. Shop at Courts.
Fill up this space.